Hello. In this video we're going to take a look at why house prices are so sensitive to interest rates. And you might have noticed this year the Fed has been raising interest rates. So if we go back to the first quarter of 2021, a person could get a 30-year fixed mortgage for around 3%. And now we're in the fourth quarter of 2022 and a 30-year fixed mortgage is right around 7%. So let's take a look and see what that would do to the typical home buyer. So let's go back to the first quarter of 2021, and let's say somebody had thought, well, we could afford a $400,000 home. And at that time, remember, the interest rate for a 30-year fixed was about 3%. So their payment, and then of course this is without estate taxes or home insurance, just the amount of the loan. So if somebody borrowed $400,000 at 3% and a 30-year fixed mortgage, their payment would have been $1,686.42 a month. And notice, by the time they got that paid off, if they would have made all their payments for 30 years on time, their total interest that they would have paid on that home would have totaled to be $207,109. Okay, so they bought a $400,000 home. By the time they got it paid off, they would have paid a little over $200,000 worth of interest on that loan. Now, currently in the fourth quarter of 2022, that same home loan would be at 7% for a 30-year fixed. However, it would jump the payment, notice, almost $1,000 a month to buy the exact same home. And what's even worse is by the time somebody got that paid off, they would have paid $558,000 of interest to buy a $400,000 home. Now, this is exactly why when interest rates are going up, typically you're going to see home prices are going to start dropping, and it's going to be much more difficult for sellers to sell their home, and it'll make it more difficult for buyers to get that access to money. Okay, so notice back in 2021, if somebody thought, well, we could afford a $400,000 home because we can afford about this much in a payment. Well, notice they can no longer afford a $400,000 house. They now have to drop their expectations way down, because notice now at 7%, if somebody bought a $250,000 house at a 30-year fixed mortgage, their payment is again about what it was early last year for a $400,000 house. It'd be approximately $1,663 a month. And notice though that even though the payment is the same, the interest rate, the total interest rate that they would have paid by the time they get that house paid off is still close to $350,000 on a $250,000 home. So they would end up paying more in interest than what they paid for the house, and likewise here also. So this is an example why home prices are very sensitive to interest rates. So something to keep in mind as we go forward, and the Fed at this time right now, this is October of 2022, is continuing to raise interest rates. And currently right now, the 30-year fix is hovering right around 7%. So that's all I had in this video.